Grover Norquist is with us. I mean, we bring on the A-team constantly on this program, and Grover is on our A-team, and we're very much happy to have him on the show. Now, let's talk tax cut, shall we? Because we had Mr. Mnuchin, Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, on this program about 24 hours ago precisely, saying that we are going to get the tax cut signed by August of this year. At that point, the stock market went up a little bit more and went up towards 300 points higher. Do you agree? Can we get the tax cut done by August?
Can we? Yes. I think it's entirely possible, and it's made much more possible by the president's very strong showing in his sort of State of the Union address. He made it clear he was focused on repealing the Obamacare taxes and reforming health care and getting the tax bill done by focusing on those two. He talked about other things, but, you know, we're going to spend a little more money on defense. When you Democrats want to join a conversation about immigration, we'll do that. There were other issues, but they were clearly not the ones we're doing right now. And I think the focus on Obamacare repeal and reform of health care and the tax cut really put some oomph behind the efforts that the President and the House have, and the Senate.
I know that you would prefer it the other way around. You'd prefer tax cut first, then deal with Obamacare. That would be your preference, but we're not going to get it.
Okay. It's not my preference because you have to do Obamacare first in order to get the baseline down to where we need it to. So there's a good reason in terms of legislation why Obamacare's, and remember, getting rid of Obamacare is $1 trillion tax cut. I'm for $1 trillion tax cuts most days.
I can't think of a single moment when you're not in favor of $1 trillion tax cut.
Correct.
Now, hold on a second, Grover. On the left-hand side of the screen, we've got Vice President Pence. He's addressing small business owners this morning. He's in Cincinnati. I'm going to listen in a second, but Grover, I've got to ask you this. Small businesses often run on the basis of personal taxation.
Yes.
So, therefore, the tax cut for people, individuals, is particularly good for small business. Have I got that right? Spell it out for me.
It is. First of all, the individual rates go to 33, 25, and 12. But for business income in subchapter S, corporations, partnerships, companies, businesses that run through the individual rate, that rate goes to 25%, below the 40-plus that's the top now, below 33 for individual, to 25. This is very much a tax cut that will help self-employed people, people who pay their business income taxes through the personal income tax.
And that's why it's popular with small business, clearly.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah.
Now, one more tax issue before I close this.
Okay.
The border adjustment tax.
Yeah.
I know you absolutely hate it. I understand that because you don't like any new tax of any kind. I got it. But what's the state of play? Because it looks to me like that border adjustment tax is the sticking point for all these tax reform plans. That's the problem, isn't it? Well,
the border adjustable tax is taking the corporate income tax and making it border adjustable. It's not a new tax. It's a change, an amendment to the corporate income tax. As part of tax reform, the overall tax reform package that the House and the Trump administration are coming to an agreement on is a $2 trillion tax cut. $2 trillion tax cut statically scored. That's with the border adjustable part in there. So that we're talking about a tax cut. There are pieces of tax reform where taxes go up here and down here. But overall, it is a significant tax reduction, significantly pro-growth. And as a package, I strongly support it. If you wanted to come up with an alternative to certain pieces that also made it possible to pass, that'd be fine. And they're having those conversations now.
I got a nasty feeling that the lobbyists will be all over this, looking for a carve-out for this group, preference for that group, less of a tax here, more of it. You know, I can just see it as a lobbyist feast day.
The challenge for the lobbyists is that the House Republicans have been working on this bill for several years now. They have walked through everything. They had some false starts. They learned a lot about how this can be put together. The Trump administration, almost for a year now, has been working with the House Republicans, and the Trump people and the House Republicans have been coming closer and closer together, and I think stand shoulder to shoulder on getting this bill done now, soon. The outlines are clearly there. Corporate rate, 35 down to 20%, full business expensing, no AMT, no death tax, going to territorial tax system, and border adjustable to make the territorial possible. And the Senate is not in opposition to any of this. Matter of fact, about 11 of the ideas in this tax plan come straight from senators. So this thing is going to move much more rapidly than most people think, and the Treasury Secretary's suggestion of July is a good place to look.
Well, that's interesting. You may move the market, Grover. I'm sure it's not the first time you've ever done that, but you could. By saying that by July, August, we'll get the tax code signed, you may help this market. Grover, you're welcome anytime. Understand that? Anytime you like, okay? Gotcha.
And I don't know what SNAP is either.
Well, at least I didn't ask you. Thank you, Grover Norquist. Okay.